Hey guys, this is Zach with Team Covenant, and I am privileged to be sitting next to Steve Horvath, the Senior Vice President of Communications at Fantasy Flight Games.
I don't know, privilege is a strong word, but all right.
And he's a big fan of the Star Wars universe and X-Wing, the game.
It's true.
And there was some pretty big news, very big news, dropped yesterday for the game. So tell us a little bit more about the announcement. There's some questions online. Is this affecting the tournament format? You know, how is this going to play into the game, and what all do you guys have in store for us?
All right, let's see. So, yesterday at the in-flight report, Christian announced some pretty exciting new stuff for X-Wing. We have these large ships. We have the Rebel Transport and the Tantive 4. And we introduced two new modes of play, Epic Tournament play and Campaign mode. And I understand there's some people wanting to know how that affects the standard mode of tournament play. Well, the short answer to that is it doesn't affect it. These are two new ways to play the game. It doesn't change, replace, or disrupt the current way to play the game. It's just adding more to it. Those ships we just felt were too cool not to do, but they will not fit in the current way the game plays. In a 100-point build, I mean, these things, that would just be stupid, right? So instead we came up...
You're in range.
Look at that. Oh, look, I've killed another ship. Your turn. Oh, you don't have any ships. Okay. So what we did was the guys in R&D came up with some different ways that you could use those ships in exciting ways, right? I mean, you could think of Epic Tournament format as just a giant mass scale battles, right? Where you could use those ships and it'd be big point totals and all sorts of stuff. So people that want to play tournaments that are going to take a really long time and you have really dynamic battles, really big scale, that's something that you can do. Again, that doesn't affect the normal tournament mode. That's going to stay as it is and keep going. And then when they've got campaign mode, which is really exciting. So you want to play outside of a tournament environment, you want to use these ships in a real narrative fashion. It's got these really interesting immersive scenarios that you can play individually or link them together in a big campaign and kind of relive some of your famous Star Wars moments and other stories like that. So we're really excited about it. I've also heard questions asked about, is this Wave 4 for X-Wing? No, it's not. I'd say sorry, but you're going to have to wait for that a little bit more. And there's more excitement to come. This is just the beginning. We still got a lot more cool stuff to do.
That's awesome. So I'm really excited both for the Star Wars LCG and X-Wing. It's basically before Christmas introducing new versions of the game.
Yeah.
Whether it's 2v2 and story mode and the LCG, or the campaign and the multiplayer here.
Yeah.
I feel like the LCG by alone is kind of a new ground. It's a new format. What is your thoughts on just like, you guys are breaking all kinds of new molds. Like I've never seen this with a game. You guys, you buy cards and people are like, oh, I had to spend this much money to get started, and then all of a sudden it's like now I can play 3 different games with the same stuff.
Well, that was Christian's vision for the whole LCG format when he created it, right? We saw that a lot of people were frustrated with the old CCG model, and a lot of games were fading away, and it's really hard to chase the cards you want to play with, and people getting frustrated about losing to Mr. Suitcase and his deck, and it's like, I spend more money than you, so I win the game, right? So instead, came up with a way, but they like that gameplay, right? The whole strategic depth of the gameplay that CCG's offered. So he came up with a way to have that without the collectability. So I mean, the whole promise, the whole foundation of LCGs is, it's one of the catchphrases we've used is play the game, not the chase, right? It's about your skill in the game and the decks you can build, because we're all on even footing. Sure. Which I'll show you at Worlds this year when we play.
We're going to play at Worlds.
Yeah, we're going to play at Worlds.
I promise.
Oh, yeah, right there. You got it on camera.
Woo! So, all right, we'll see about that. Now, you have advanced knowledge, I imagine.
I am too busy to use it, though.
Okay.
You get to play in a store every day.
It's true.
That's a huge advantage. I used to do that, too, so I know. But we'll have fun. It'll be good. But I mean, that's it. It's about player skill, deck building skill, playing the game, because then we both have access to the same cards, right? Instead of what I can afford to buy or chase or find. I mean, that's the whole premise of it. And then coming up with some innovative ways to play. Christian and the R&D guys wanted Star Wars is big, right? It's a huge experience, and the current format is fantastic, and we're thrilled with the response, but we wanted to even reach beyond that, right? And come up with some stuff that was really, really exciting. And so 2v2 gives people a chance. They've got a group of friends they want to play. It's like you and I can play those two guys over there, and maybe we'll do that at Worlds too. I don't know.
Maybe it'll be a brawl.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. And then the 1 versus, well, up to 3. You could play 2 or 3 people with it, right?
It's really nice when you have an odd number of players.
Sure. Yeah, right. I mean, it covers all the bases, and it gives people a chance. It's like, all right, well, there's this super deck. How can we figure out to solve that puzzle? And it's really narrative. It's based around the story. Again, I mean, everything we do with Star Wars, we try to immerse in the lore and the universe and the story, the narrative, all of that stuff. And I think the guys have done a great job with it.
Fantastic. So, speaking of Worlds, a little bit before that, all the national championships are happening. You guys have had an amazing response. You have a ton of people playing. Tell me a little more about that. For people that aren't here, what kind of records are you setting?
Netrunner's the biggest LCG tournament we've had since we started the format. That was fantastic. I have a feeling that's going to be a short-lived record, though, and probably get broke at Worlds. Game of Thrones set a new high this year for LCG attendance. So nearly the biggest ever, I think.
Which was kind of surprising. I think a lot of people were expecting for it not to be as big as it was last year.
That game grows every year.
Yeah.
Every single year it gets bigger. And how many games do you know now? This is its 11th year, and it's its best year ever. I don't know very many games that can do that.
And that's maybe what makes the living card game the most appealing, because it's way more sustainable, I think.
I think so. And it seems like people agree.
And it's easier to get into later on, and all those good reasons. All right, so I want to talk about Worlds before I let you go.
Okay.
You're breaking records here at GenCon.
Yeah.
Last year, you guys hosted the first World Championship at your headquarters.
Yes.
Which was a big move. I think it was an overwhelming success.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just making sure you agree.
Oh yeah, that's why we're doing it again.
What do you anticipate from this year's World Championship? I mean, are you going to smash the record set at GenCon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And, have you already? What are you planning? Why should give people some thoughts on why they should come out?
We got more space, so we're going to be able to handle everybody. We have a lot more international players coming. We've had a lot of our international partners confirm they're sending champions, more than we did last year. And that's one of the exciting things about hosting Worlds out at our place in November. One, we can really, really focus on it. See, like, I'll actually have time to play you a game there where I couldn't here, right?
Absolutely.
We have a lot more staff to focus on the event to make it an even better experience, though I think this has been fantastic here. We can devote even more resources to it. And having those international players, I think, is really important. We call it a world championship, but in the past, there's been almost no international presence. But now that a lot of our partners around the world are sending champions, and in November, that works with their time schedules more, because a lot of them are having their championships in August, September, October, things like that, so it wouldn't be viable for them to send champions here. But having it when we're having it, and where we're having it, makes it convenient to have all of that come together, so that we're running actually truly global world championship events. I mean, it just sounds like I had a meeting with our Chinese partner today, and they're planning on sending their AGOT champion next year. So even more people are getting on board, right? So it's going to get bigger and more global every year.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm really excited to see what you guys do, what you guys announce, what'll be there, and really just to see the crowd, because I've got a feeling it's going to be massive.
It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Don't miss it.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me, and we'll touch base at Worlds when we're playing. On video.
So you get that on video.
And maybe something will be on the line.
Maybe.
Thanks
All
again,
right,
Steve.
sure.